Hey guys, Redneck Mini 14 here. Gonna talk about a topic that is kind of relevant for today, but not entirely. We're gonna talk about a bug out ammo can or a bug out ammo storage solution. Basically, if the crap hits the fan and you have to bug out, you want to have a good cache of ammunition to just pick up and go. Now, the reason I say this doesn't exactly relate to today is because today is more of a bug-in situation. In other words, everybody's staying inside, nobody's really wanting to leave their house, so when you're bugging in and everybody's bugging in, you don't want to bug out, you want to stay in and protect what you have, because we don't necessarily know how long we're going to want to be bugging in for. But this is kind of a video for anything that could happen in the future where you do have to bug out and you do need to move to a different location or just kind of start moving and trying to find a better location. This is a video for those kind of scenarios. Now, I first saw this concept on Never Enough Ammo, and so I can't exactly take credit for this concept, but I will put this in the video just because I thought it was a great idea, and if you haven't seen that video, you should go check it out because he probably does a much better job than I do. So go check out Never Enough Ammo on YouTube. If you've never heard of him or if you're not subscribed to him, he's a much bigger YouTube channel than me. But if you haven't seen his channel or if you haven't seen that video, go check it out because, again, it's probably a lot better than what I have to show you. Obviously, the way he put his together is the way that I put mine together. Because I thought his was definitely one of the better versions of this concept. So what I have is a 50 cal ammo can. This is a surplus ammo can used by the military, I guess, at some point in time. Picked it up at Buckeyes, and they had a whole bunch of these, and I picked out this one that had the orange spray paint on them. There were a couple like this. I picked that one because I thought, in a bug out situation, it's orange, it's easy to recognize that this is my bug out ammo can, so I used that one and chose that one for this concept. Attached to it, this is a Black Hawk shotgun ammo sling. It holds 15 rounds of 12 gauge. This was a concept that Never Enough Ammo put in his video and that he uses, and I thought it was a great concept because it gives you number one, it gives you a much better handle. You can sling this over your shoulder much like you sling a gun or a backpack over your shoulder, but it also holds 15 rounds of 12 gauge ammunition, and I guess you could use 20 gauge too if you wanted to. So I have 10 rounds of Winchester buckshot, double-aught buckshot, and then I have 5 rounds of Federal birdshot on there. So again, this isn't my final iteration of this because this is kind of a work in progress. I can't exactly go to the gun shop. I mean, I can, but I'd rather not go and expose myself to other people right now as much as I possibly can. And so I'm just kind of using what I have, but I do have other plans in the future. I probably would prefer to have like some birdshot, some buckshot, and some slugs on this sling. But I have plenty of time to change that up. Now inside, again, this is a work in progress, not the final iteration, but I'm just going to show you what I currently have and maybe kind of explain some things that I might want to change in the future. I have basically 4 calibers in here, and my plan, if I ever had to bug out, would be to go to a separate location that an area, a piece of land that my family owns, and that someday I plan to have some guns stored there. So a 30-30, maybe a 30-06, a 22, a shotgun, and a handgun. So in here I have 5 currently 5 Ruger P-Series magazines of different capacities. Now, of course, I do have some more larger capacity magazines in the guns themselves. I have 6 P-Series 9mm. I plan on keeping 1 out on the separate location, which would leave 5 here for me to take. I'd probably take 2. But I have 5 magazines in here. I got 2 17 rounders, a 15 rounder, and then 2 10 rounders. Again, I have more magazines, more like the 17 and 15 round magazines in the guns themselves currently, which is why I have some 10 rounders here, and I have more 10 rounders as well. But 5 magazines currently. That may change to maybe 3 magazines. And then I have 3 AR magazines fully loaded, so 90 rounds of 223. Actually, this is 5.56. And I have a loaded magazine in the gun itself. So it'd be 120 rounds already loaded in magazines and ready to go. That is a concept that will probably stay, and I only have so many metal AR magazines, and I'll prefer to use metal magazines over plastic magazines. So once all this is over, I'll get more metal magazines and keep some at home, keep some in this box, and whatever. 555 rounds of 22. This is just a Winchester bulk pack, and I would probably either use I guess one of 3 rifles, really. Either a Marlin Model 60, my Marlin 795, or I might take my girlfriend's Ruger 1022 that I built her, or put together for her for Christmas, just because it has a scope and iron sights that you can use readily. Come on. So here's 100 rounds of Fiocchi 9mm, 115 grain. And then this box is just a partial. It'll eventually be replaced with a full box. In fact, I have all kinds of full boxes, so I'll probably either take more from a partial and fill this, or I'll just get a full box as well. But some of these are actually in the magazines here. So that's just a partial box of 9mm. And take that off so it doesn't fall over. 1 box of 223. This isn't the only box, but 1 20-round box. This was like all they had in the store last time I went to get some ammunition as far as 223 went, so I picked it up and I decided I'll just throw it in here. Again, not the final iteration. I'm going to change some things around, but there's 20 rounds of 223. 15 rounds of Federal double-aught buckshot. I have 30 rounds of Remington slugs. Probably will change one of these out for some more buckshot, but that's, I just had a bunch of these boxes of slugs and I threw a couple of them in there. So 30 rounds of slugs, and eventually I would like to get some more of this stuff, but this is Winchester Defender PDX 1. Is that what they call this? Actually, it doesn't say that. I always thought this was PDX 1, but Winchester Defender, which basically has a slug, if it'll focus, a slug, and then 3 double-aught buckshot either in front of it or behind it. But basically, it's kind of the best of both worlds. We have buckshot and a slug, and there's 10 rounds in there. And then 50 rounds of Aguila 223. I think eventually what I want to do is have maybe a couple. There's some other brands of 223 and 5.56 that have 50 round packs like this where it's already on stripper clips, and they're usually come in a little bit smaller box because they're a little more tightly packaged. So I'll probably end up changing out the current 223 that I have in the box with maybe 2 or 3 packs of that. It just kind of depends on how everything fits. But that's what it looks like currently. So 70 rounds of 223, 90 rounds of 5.56 in the 3 magazines. Let's see, 20, 35, and then 2 17 rounders of 9mm plus 100 rounds and a partial box of 9mm over there. 15 rounds of buckshot, 10 rounds of that Winchester Defender, and then 30 rounds of, let's zoom out here a little bit, 30 rounds of Remington slugs, and then of course the shotgun ammunition on the sling, and then 555 rounds of 22. So currently, not too bad. Again, not the final iteration. I might do a video after all this whole pandemic is over and kind of share what I've changed. But if you're looking at maybe putting together your own bug out ammo can or your bug out ammo bag or box or whatever, this is probably a good start. Again, you don't have to go with 9mm. You could go with 40 if you like 40. You don't have to go with 223. You could go with 7.62 by 39 if you're an AK guy. You can go with 20 gauge if you're a little more recoil sensitive. So, I mean, there are all kinds of different options. This is just what I have, and that's mostly what I recommend and what other people recommend because they're some of the most common ammunitions available. So it's just what I go with. And again, my plan, if I did have to bug out, would be to go to a separate location where eventually I would keep a 30-30 and some ammo, of course, and maybe a 30-06, again, with some ammo, and a 22 and a 9mm and maybe another shotgun. So that's what I have currently. If you like this concept, if you like to see more videos like this, give me a thumbs up, or maybe tell me, give me a comment, tell me what you like, what you didn't like, or whatever. So subscribe to my channel, like me on Facebook. I'm Redneck Mini 14, and until next time, be safe.